Hello, everyone. It's Jackie Sabrin here. This is your Engaged at Any Age live coaching call. I'm so excited to be connecting with you today. Thank you for being here. I really wanted to talk about this topic. Why are you still single? Because I know that that is like one of the number one most dreaded questions that so many women fear that a man's going to ask you that. And the thing is, you have to be prepared to answer that because that's just kind of the number one question that men are going to ask you. And so I'm going to cover not only why is a pretty woman like you still single. I'm going to give you some good responses to that question, but I'm also going to give you some responses to other questions that come up on first dates, and so that you're more prepared. Because the more prepared you are, the more relaxed you can be, and the more authentic you can be in your interactions with men, because that's the key. Authenticity, that's what connects with everyone. And so in the beginning, you might need to fake it until you make it. And I don't mean to be fake, but what I mean by that is that you may need a little script because you're nervous on a first date or when you meet somebody or when you're interacting with men. So it's normal to maybe, get a little triggered when somebody asks you that question because you probably don't feel good about where you are right now on your journey to love. And so that's something I want you to take a look at. So let me give you first some quick little tips, and then you can take some notes. And first I want to just say hi to a few people that are coming on the call. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, nice to see you, Mary. Hi, Mary. And so, hi, Alice. And so if you have any questions, please post them here in the Facebook thread right here, and I'll try to answer them. Okay, so let's get straight to it. Why is a pretty thing like you still single? Or why is a lady like you still single? That's the number one question. And so your response would be, smiling, always smiling. Be prepared for that question, and you're going to just simply say several variations of this. So, well, call me a hopeless romantic. I love love, and it's really not about the destination. It's all about the journey. And so I'm taking my time in this journey to love. And what about you? So you can say something as simple as that. Or you can always bounce that question back to the man that's asking you. Ask him the same question. Or you can say something like, that's a great question. I was hoping you were going to scoop me up. So you can make a joke of it and make light of it and stop taking it so seriously and getting so triggered. Or you can just be really authentic and say something like this. I've had some amazing connections with men along the way, and I certainly have grown so much in the process of being single. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't give up one single moment of my single life because it's given me the opportunity to really grow myself personally as a woman. It's helped me to expand my ability to be on my own. It's helping me to expand my business. All of my relationships are richer because I spend more quality time with myself, giving me the opportunity to really think about what I want out of life. And I know that the right man's going to come along, and I have no doubt about it. What about you? So you can go into a little bit more detail, but always asking that question back. And so you can play with it, have fun with it, or you can go a little deeper with that. And so sometimes when you really know why you're still single and you're okay with that and you've made peace with that, it's so much easier to connect really authentically with a man because he's really looking for a few things in that statement. He's really trying to garner, calculate, understand where you are. Are you unhappy being single? Have you made peace with being single? Where is your attitude? On the scale of 1 to 10, where do you fall? Are you still bitter about your divorce? Are you still feeling really insecure about being single, never been married? He's taking a temperature. So make sure you don't take this personal. It's a question that you need to answer, and you need to be prepared for that. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more comfortable you feel, and the more authentic that will connect. And I remember being asked that. And it's kind of like a nervous dating question that everybody asks, right? Well, why are you still single? You don't really mean to ask it, but you do want to know why are you still single? And there's so many answers to that question, so many reasons. Well, I've been I'm blessed to have a daughter who's in high school, and I've chosen to slow the process down to get into a committed relationship because I want to dedicate more time with her. And so that was pretty, deliberate on my choice. And so now I'm ready to start this next chapter of my life. Or you can say I've really spent the first part of my life focusing on business and developing that part of my life and traveling, and now I'm taking some deliberate steps to create the love that I want. That's the missing piece to the pie. And so you can say something like that. And if you don't have any children or have never been married, and you get asked that question, I know that can be very painful if you haven't made peace with that. So the part about this that I really want you to hear is that it's really important that you make peace about wherever you are in your path, because if you don't, that tells me that you don't have some acceptance, that you might be in the in the victim position. So what that sounds like is that things happen to me in life, or this has happened to me. He did this or she did that, and you're still blaming others and not being able to take responsibility for what the choices that you've made. And here's the wonderful thing about taking responsibility. Let's look at that word responsibility. It's response able. So when you are able to respond to yourself, you will start to come from a more empowered place. And when you answer the question why you haven't been married and why you don't have any children, you can simply say, I've had an incredible life and I've made choices all along the way that have led me to today. And I wouldn't change anything about my life because it's made me the woman that I am. And I certainly would invite and just love the opportunity to be a mentor for someone's children because I love children. And so what about you? And so that's how you can, move that question and bounce that over to the man across from you. Because the truth is, you have made choices to be where you are in your life. You might have chosen your career over having children, or maybe you were planning on having them, but you just never met anybody that you felt that you wanted to have children with. So sometimes life plays out that way. But the sooner you embrace your reality and your truth, the easier it's going to be for you to connect with men. So just coming from a more confident place, more sure of yourself, and more clear than you've ever been in your whole life about what you want and why you want it. And so you just lean back and you're just like, yeah, call me a hopeless romantic. I love love. And so I'm taking my time and enjoying every little morsel of being single. And now I'm ready to start the next chapter of my life. What about you? Things like that. Just coming from an authentic heart, a smile on your face, and being okay sitting in the hot seat for a couple of minutes. This is a little bit of a hot seat, but you want to get good at facing these challenges. And because life is a series of obstacles, right? You just have to get good at overcoming the obstacles. But if you fall down in the first question, you may not get asked on a second date. So you really have to pass this test. And it's really a test of how much do you accept yourself? How much do you accept and love yourself? That's what's really being conveyed in your response. So the more you love and accept yourself, the easier it is to answer that question more authentically. And if you want to be really vulnerable, which I'm all about being vulnerable, you can say, that's such a great question, and I'm happy to share with you. I have definitely suffered some disappointment in that area. I was really wanting children, and when that didn't happen for me, I really had to come to terms with it, and that was a challenge for me. But I have, and I'm here. This is where I am now, and so I'm taking it one day at a time. What about you? So you can go ahead and share that you've had a little pain around, little grieving about not having your own children. If you feel comfortable with that, I would certainly recommend the more authentic you can be, the more it's going to connect, and the more that man's going to resonate with you. And believe me, if he doesn't resonate with you, he's not your guy anyway. And so you're finding out a lot about a man and what he wants and his values. And so go ahead and be as honest and transparent as you can be upfront. But really, it's just 2 sentences. Do not tell the whole story. I think what happens is we start to overshare, and we tell too much, and in the process we start to kind of unravel this picture we're painting of ourselves. We're sharing who we are, and then we start to backpedal, and it starts to sound worse. So really, less is more in whatever you're sharing, especially in the first couple of dates. They're not looking for a whole story. They're just looking for sound bites little feedback, just like when you ask a man, why, why did you get divorced? I mean, that's a big question. Why did you get divorced? And here's the response to that. Well, I feel like my first marriage was a total success. I mean, we grew as far as we could together, and now we're growing in a different way. But what came out of that is a beautiful family and great experiences, and I have no regrets. And I'm looking forward to my next husband. Or you can say I'm in between husbands. I think that's really fun, and I've actually said that because that's really confident thing to say. So it's not cocky, but it's kind of playful and it's kind of funny. And I love to add humor to everything I do because I'm not identified with the things that have happened to me. And what I mean by that is, and I really want you all to strive towards this is the key to freeing yourself from these roles and identities that society and your mind places on you. So I'm not my divorce, I'm not my car, I'm not my watch, I'm not my ring. I'm so much more than that. I'm a spark of the divine. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I'm identified by my God self, not by my divorce or my mistakes. Because if my mistakes define me, if I allowed them to define me, I would feel really bad about myself. And I am speaking from experience. At one time, I remember going through my divorce and feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm a divorcee. Who is going to want me? I'm divorced. It was like I'd served a prison sentence and I had to disclose that I was a divorcee. And I felt terrible about myself until I was able to transcend that fear-based thinking and start to identify myself from the godlike being that I really am. And you are all sparks of the divine. So start acting like it, right? Start owning your divine heritage. You are magnificent beings, and you can create anything you want. And you're always creating, whether you're conscious or not, right? So you want to be more deliberate and more conscious about everything you say and do. And don't let your never been married define you. Don't let your mind bully you around. Our mind is like a giant, it's like an 800-pound gorilla, and it's over there beating us up. It's recorded every single mistake we've ever made, and it's constantly bringing that up and reminding us, that, we haven't been married, or we've been single for 8 years, or maybe you're older. I have one client that asked me to share, what do I do? I'm 78. I've had a long, several decades of marriage, and then another second 12-year marriage. And you know what I say to that? She wanted to know if that's going to make her look bad, or what are her actual words? My bad luck. I'm like, are you kidding? That's credibility. I feel like if any of you have been married and you're divorced, that gives you credibility. You got your stripes. I mean, going through a marriage and a divorce or a death or any relationship, you don't even have to be married, gives you experience, gives you life, gives you wrinkles and gray hair, and we love that. That's where you get your wisdom from life experience. So don't give up any age, any moment of your life to try to twist yourself into some kind of woman that you feel that men want. Men want authenticity. They want the real thing. And so don't lie about your age on your profile. Be yourself. And all those two relationships that my client asked me about, is she bad luck? I'm like, no. Actually, my grandmother lived to be 100 years old, and she had a line of men out the door. She was married to my grandfather for 30 years. He passed away. Then she was married to a chef at a restaurant for a year. He died of a heart attack. And then she was married again for another 25 years. And then she said, I'm just going to keep getting boyfriends because my husbands keep dying on me. Bless her heart. So I just thought that she was so incredible, and she inspired me so much. And I asked her, what's your secret, Grandma? What's your secret? And she said, I never dwell on the past. That's what she told me. So much wisdom. I never dwell on the past. I just stay in the moment. And I just thought of when she told me that, I'm like, that's the key to life. Just stay in the moment, because the past doesn't exist. And so she had this charm about her that men just wanted to be in her presence. And so she had many boyfriends up until the day she died. And so they just thought she was the cat's meow. And so don't feel bad about your previous relationships. I don't care if you've been married 7 times, 8 times a charm. I mean, you might want to look at, some reoccurring patterns if you have, but own up to it. own your stuff, and it will endear you to the people that you share your life with, because everybody's more comfortable around a woman who accepts herself. And let's see if we have any other questions. Let's see. Anybody? Why is being single a bad thing? Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. And so we want to look at, why do you think being single is bad? I think that our society rewards us to live in these magical relationships, and when we're in a relationship, or we've never been in one, I guess we're really focused on what we don't have, right? And so there's so much evidence everywhere, looking around and noticing what we don't have. And so you want to train yourself to start to look at things that you want, not what you don't want. And being single really gives you an opportunity to grow yourself. And in that process, what you'll do is become a better version of yourself. Every year that you're single is an opportunity for you to grow yourself personally. And every day that you're single gives you an opportunity to meet a higher quality man, because when you're growing, then the men you're attracting changes, right? I have a client that even a month ago, I ran this values exercise with her, and I'm going to tell you about that. But even a month ago, she has changed so much in just 1 month that I'm glad that she didn't meet anybody a month ago, because now she's on a different level. She's in a place now where she really is, can attract a quality man. She could have before, but now, because of her perception of herself, is so different, so much better, so much more, so much bigger. It's on a grander scale. She sees herself in such a higher light that now that was going to reflect out in the type of men. So don't discount these years that you're single, days, years, months, decades even, because look at the wisdom that you're gaining, and look for the pieces in your life that you can enhance. Work on your sports, your hobbies, your business, your ability to communicate. Go and find things that you're passionate about. Help others. Fill your time, nights and days, with things that bring you joy. And in that process, you will not only line up with a man, but you'll line up with a man coming from a place of real joy and passion. Because if you're really upset about being single, you need to look at why that is. You've got to drill into that. You need to get to the thing behind the thing that's causing you to feel so bad about it. I'm sure that you will uncover some nuggets there that can be healed and released, and you can start to bring more joy and more self-acceptance and love into your life. And that's what's going to attract a man anyway. So you want to start to do that work. And let me see, I have one other question I wanted to answer, and I'm looking through my list here. She said, why have you been single for so long? I was married for only 2 years, but the relationship lasted for 7 years. Again, I answered that at the beginning of the call. When a man says, why, if he starts to just listen to the tone and try not to take it personal. When a man asks you this, it's really important to take a breath, lean back, and roll out that answer. Again, he's looking for how you respond. It's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it, and delivering your truth in a way that that really speaks into being more confident and self-accepting. Say, well, we went as far as we could, and I learned a lot in the process, and I consider every relationship a valuable tool for personal growth, and I feel really blessed to have been in that relationship. And now I'm in a different place in my life and looking forward to the next chapter. I mean, that's pretty much your staple response to everything, all of these questions you're asking me. And so really, it's just checking in with yourself, starting to accept where you are and eager about what's coming, starting to focus on what you want and less on what you don't want. Because when you focus on what you don't want, by the law of attraction, you create a magnet and draw more of that to you. But when you focus all of your attention on what you want, looking at things that you like, just turning your attention towards everything that you want, surrounding yourself by people that are positive, that you resonate with, that are living a passionate, happy, joy-filled life is going to really support you to. So start looking around, looking at your inner circle. Look at the people who are influencing you, and make sure that that is some positive support for you, because what you want to do is release, let go of people that might be talking into your ear about, maybe they're struggling with being single, and you guys are swapping stories. But what you're doing in that process of sharing with your friend how distressful it is to be single, you're actually talking about what you don't want and actually creating more of what you don't want to come into your life. That's why it's so important to manage your thoughts, manage your mind, and to have these scripted responses to this tough question so that you can begin to believe it. It's almost like a program you're running by saying something that maybe you don't quite believe yet. If you do it enough, you'll start to create a belief system around it, that it's going to happen for you, and bring more humor, more belief, right? More belief that it's going to happen for you, and excitement about the fact that it's going to happen. I mean, I was single for 8 years, and I remember I went online for about a year, and I didn't have very much luck, and I really didn't show up authentically at that time. And I see now why I was attracting the emotionally unavailable men that I was attracting, because I was emotionally unavailable. So I went offline, I got to work on me, went back online a year later, and met my husband. And it was a complete turnaround for me. And so if you're online and you're experiencing all of this, some disconnect, maybe it's time for you to hit the pause button, do a little internal work, and then relaunch your profile coming from a more empowered, positive place, so that you can connect with the type of men that you deserve and desire. And so, do we have any other questions? Good, Jill. Yeah, married 10 years, the first time 20 years, the second time planning on 30 the next time. I love it. That's a great answer. So Jill's she recaps her times, the relationship she's been in, and she says it in a way that's full of self-acceptance. That's what I read when I read your statement, Jill. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, own it. Own your history, own your mistakes, because here's the thing. You created your life, and if you created the life that you've lived, then you can create a new life for yourself. That's why you want to own your life, because you created it, and that means when you take full responsibility for it, you can create the life you want. When you're in victim mode, you're disempowered, and you're going to create a life. It's just going to be from a unconscious place, and I don't want that for you, because I think that you have the power. You have the power. It's your birthright to create everything you want. You just have to bring more consciousness to it, more deliberate steps to it in everything you say and do when it comes to dating. So the creation trilogy that I've talked to you about is thoughts, words, and deeds. I want you to bring more thoughts, more words, and more deeds that are all congruent to your dating experience. So everything you say, everything you do, and everything you think needs to be all on the same page. Because what happens is you might be saying to your friend, oh, I'm so tired of being single. I don't know if it's going to happen for me. But you're thinking, I'm hoping that it's going to happen. And then you are doing things that are sabotaging. You're going out and maybe you're having casual sex, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want a committed relationship, you need to close that door to being more committed to your path by standing in your word. So you need to make your word law. So what that means, and I love that, your word needs to be law in the universe. When your word is law to you, it means that you believe without a shadow of a doubt, with a gut level knowing that you can create, because your word is law. You keep your word to yourself. So oftentimes people think that I keep my word to other people, but you're not really keeping your word to yourself when you're doing, thinking, and saying all different things about what you want in a relationship. You have to have more emotional courage. You have to keep your word to yourself. That's how it becomes a law. So if you keep your word by your thoughts, monitoring and making sure that your thoughts, words, and deeds are all congruent, they're all the same thing, they all line up, they're all in alignment, you are going to create a lot of synergy and a lot of energy and synchronicity around what you want. And you're going to start to see signs are going to start showing up in your life. Like you might get in your car and you might see a bumper sticker that says love, or you might see something that's like ring in, and you start seeing signs. The universe is going to be sending you a sign that it's going to happen. He's on the way. And every time you see one of those signs, I want you to go, wow, there's a sign. I know it's going to happen. And then stop and acknowledge that and get excited about that feeling. I remember I saw so many different signs. I remember an owl flew in front of my car really close, the same owl over and over. I took that as a sign. I saw everywhere I looked, I would start to see street signs that said, like engaged, or love is in the air, or all kinds of things. So, and this is the summer of love. Summer's here, and this is a wonderful time to meet someone. So take more risks, be more authentic, own your singleness, fall in love with yourself, and the world will fall in love with you. I promise you. So who else has a question? Give me, yep. You've earned your stripes. That's right, Linda. You've earned your stripes. I don't see if there's any other questions. I got one more here. I've been single for 17 years with 2 relationships since then. I think one guy was put off 2 years ago when he asked me how long I've been divorced, and I said 15 years. He's not your guy then, right? Not everybody's going to resonate with you. Get over it. Not everybody is going to resonate with you, but you only need one. There's 3.5 billion men on the planet, and you only need one. Now, you have to accept the fact that not everyone is going to resonate with you. And you know what? Not everybody resonated with me, and that's fine. They just saved me a lot of time in the process. It's next, next, next. Thank you for revealing what I need to know. Don't spend any time dwelling on thoughts about why you didn't call me back or what did I do wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay? It's just all about divine timing. You take responsibility for how you're showing up. Bring more deliberate steps to everything you do, and I promise you, you will start to see a different result. And keep an open mind. You have to have a beginner's mind when you're going through the dating process, because it can be a roller coaster, right? And you have to skill up in this area. And that's why I'm making these videos, so that I can help you to quickly learn some advanced adult life skills. That's really what I'm teaching, right? Advanced adult life skills. We need to have advanced skills in our society today. There's so much information now on the internet, and things are moving so fast, and we do have to learn some more skills. But fortunately, I'm here teaching you these skills every week. Great communication skills, how to connect with yourself on a deeper level, how to be intimate, how to, whatever you want. In fact, put in your thread, how to, and I will answer that question on our next call next Thursday at 3:30. And also, I do have a wonderful ebook on my website, as well as an assessment that if you take the assessment, it's like a little quiz it'll give you the answer to how close you are to attracting love, and by the way of what vibrational frequency that you're putting out. We're all vibrating at a certain frequency. It's all energy, right? And sometimes we have all these experiences, these painful experiences that create a bit of a block to manifesting what we want, and so our energy shows up different. So if you take my soulmate assessment, you can, I will assess where you are and provide a feminine exercise to help you raise your vibration. And so that's on my website, and I'll post a link after the live call, so you can go and check that out. And I just want to thank everybody for being here today. It's so great for you to connect with me this way. I see there's some more. Yeah. We'll talk about that next time, Robin, because we're out of time and I want this video to be recorded. I think if I go over 30 minutes, they don't save it. And so I want to sign off now so the video can be saved, so that the ladies that weren't on it can watch the replay. So lots of love to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll talk to you next week at 3:30. Lots of love. We'll connect on my Facebook page as well. Bye-bye.